You guys came for basketball.
Yeah,
Let's talk about basketball. Come on now.
What do you think of just how you all were able to pull away in the second half, Caitlin, in particular?
We're going to the Commissioner Cup Championship.
Let's go!
Pretty exciting. Y'all want to talk about that?
They figured no one would catch it, but Caitlin Clark's expression said it all, even before the microphone was on. After a tense run-in with Marina Mabrey, a reporter decided to stir the pot. Caitlin didn't hold back. Her raised eyebrows, sharp tone, and icy stare spoke louder than words, maybe even louder than her game-winning shots. Now, fans are breaking it down frame by frame, trying to read between the lines. Was she throwing shade? Just fired up? Or was it simply a raw, real moment in the heat of WNBA action?
Caitlin, when your head coach came out with a statement today saying she denounces all the racism that some people have felt in this league, players, trolls online, all those things, as one of the biggest stars in this league, what are your thoughts on the things not only your teammates have to endure, but just the entire league? And obviously, you spoke on this before, but just now your coach and your GM are talking about it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice.
Talk about a disservice. The reporter could barely get the question out before Caitlin Clark's eyebrows shot up. And not in a surprised or curious way. This was the kind of look that says, seriously? We're doing this again. If eye rolls were part of the game, Clark would have racked up a triple-double. Her reaction said everything. She was over it before the question even landed.
Caitlin Clark, please leave this league and let it crumble. Please, this league does not deserve you. All this hate from these black people, all this hate from these lesbians, these people in the media, just go play basketball somewhere else. Your fans will follow you. We will follow you wherever you go. But let this shit crumble and burn to the fucking ground, man. Let the viewership drop below 50%. Let them lose hundreds of millions of dollars again, man. Let them go back into fucking irrelevancy. Nobody giving a damn about none of these players. Just leave.
Of course, they didn't ask about her points, her sharp passes, or how she actually played. Instead, they went straight for the usual, pulling the same tired storyline out of the bag. Another heated moment. Marina Mabrey. Is the league targeting you? It's the same old script, rinse, recycle, repeat. By now, Caitlin's got to feel like she's stuck in a bad soap opera, where every episode ends with her being cast as the villain just for showing up and playing hard.
This is a public announcement. I need everybody to stop what they're doing and listen up. As we watch the WNBA every day because of the way they play the game, because I love the WNBA, I love the way they play the game, but we really watch it because Caitlin Clark and everybody watching. Now listen. If I keep bumping her, knock her down, might get her a concussion, you might hurt her for real. For 2 weeks, she was done with like a hamstring. She was down. 55% of the viewership was down. She comes back the next game, it's about 3 million viewers. Now, let me tell you something. Growing up in the hood, they teach you this. Always protect the money. Y'all keep hurting her and all that. She going for a year or two. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. If nobody watches, how y'all gonna make and generate?
Her face said it all. No need to guess. There was no poker face, no attempt to hide it. Her jaw tightened, her eyes narrowed just slightly, and boom, there it was. That look you give when your patience has already left the building. She didn't look mad. She looked worn out, tired of the same headlines, tired of being turned into a viral moment for things that barely matter. Honestly, she could cure athlete's foot and someone would still ask if she had a personal grudge against the fungus.
Oh, she brings everyone in. Like literally she goes to the indoor volleyball team in Indianapolis. And of course the cameras are on her and the big screen and she's doing pictures with the team and people want to be around it because she's there. I'm a little surprised that she did have part of the ownership group of a Cincinnati franchise. The NWSL went with Denver. But to me, if I'm a league, I get Caitlin Clark involved in part ownership, some kind of thing, any women's sports thing. You've got a magnet here, that attention magnet, the likes of which we have never seen in women's sports.
It's like she's a magnet, drawing more attention than we've ever seen in women's sports. But for some reason, nothing Caitlin Clark does can just be about basketball. Every move gets wrapped in drama, controversy, or some made-for-TV storyline. Drop 30 points? Cool, but what did she say afterward? Hit a clutch shot? Nice, but let's analyze her facial expression during the inbound play. Her post-game interviews get treated like episodes of CSI, WNBA, with reporters zooming in on her every blink like they're cracking some secret code, and then there's this ongoing narrative that the entire league is out to get her, like there's a dartboard with her face on it in every locker room. She can't even adjust her headband without someone claiming it's part of a conspiracy. Did you see that? She blinked twice, must be a secret signal. It's absurd. You'd think there's a candlelit strategy session before every game, plotting how to trip her during warm-ups and swipe her Gatorade, but here's what's really wild, those same reporters act shocked when she seems frustrated. Like anyone would be thrilled to sit through a press conference where even breathing too loudly becomes a headline. They don't show up to celebrate her, they show up ready to cross-examine. So yeah, her answers are short. Her smile looks forced. She's not being rude, she's just trying to make it through yet another round of emotional gymnastics.
Caitlin Clark, and I put this analogy in there. She's a player that you have to guard 94 feet. She can shoot. There's no question. Probably one of the best girls shooters I've seen in a minute. But what else can she do? Think about it. And I'm trying to get you guys to understand this. Her passing capability, averaging nine assists per game. She's capable of doing that because the game is stretched so far for her. It's wide open. It has to be. You have to play. America. You have to play up. I've never seen anything like it. She creates havoc for defenses because you got to play.
Caitlin Clark can play a nearly perfect game and still get grilled afterward. Too competitive. Too cold. Too intense. The media picks apart her personality like it's some kind of failed science project. Don't smile? She's an ice queen. Smile too much? Must be fake. Speak up? She's a diva. Stay quiet? Now she's standoffish. It's like she's stuck in a never-ending game of media bingo, and every square is just a new way to spin something negative. The irony? Half the league is pulling stunts to stay in the spotlight, while Clark just stretches her ankle and it's national news. Even when she does absolutely nothing wrong, the scrutiny is so intense that people still manage to find fault. It's like being calm, skilled, and focused isn't interesting unless you're cast as the villain. And somehow, that role keeps landing on her, unfairly, even ridiculously, but over and over again. The wild part? That whole everyone's out to get me storyline isn't even her vibe. But the media frames her like that's her brand, because paranoia sells better than progress. So instead of showing her as a team player, they turn her into the lead in some superhero drama, battling a league full of silent enemies, as if she's the lone hero and everyone else is Thanos.
Caitlin Clark is essential. The Caitlin Clarks, the Michael Jordans, the Christian Pulisic saying, I'm not going to go and play. It is essential to American sports, these disruptive figures who just don't always either toe the company line for the GM, it drives us crazy. Dissent drives us crazy. But Caitlin Clark is basically saying, yeah, I'm going to score.
While the media keeps pushing the same tired storyline, they're missing what's really going on. Caitlin Clark looks worn out from all the noise. You can see it in how she stands, in the way she takes a breath before speaking. She's not just answering questions, she's tiptoeing through traps disguised as journalism. There's a big difference between asking tough questions and baiting someone into a meltdown. And lately, some of these post-game interviews feel less like reporting and more like emotional ambushes, with better lighting. Here's a wild thought: ask her about basketball. Ask how she's adjusting to the league. What changed in the third quarter? How does she see the court so clearly? But no, we skip all that and go straight to the drama, because somewhere along the line, we decided she's the lead character in some league-wide soap opera, and it's a lose-lose. If she pushes back, she's out of control. If she says nothing, she's too calculated. The same people obsessing over her reactions are the ones who built this pressure cooker in the first place. It's like poking a bear with a stick, then writing a think piece on why the bear looks tense. What's worse? They pretend she's unaware of it all. Like she doesn't have a phone, or basic awareness. Please. She knows the game. She can spot the difference between a genuine question and a setup wrapped in politeness. At this point, she could probably write the headlines herself. Clark disrespects mascot with cold gaze after timeout. And sure enough, it'd still make the front page.
Merchandise sales for the WNBA have reportedly increased by 500% since her arrival, with Clark merchandise leading the way. Her games have drawn millions of viewers. We've talked about that before. The Indiana Fever's franchise value has reportedly quadrupled due to Clark's presence. Indianapolis has seen an increase in hotel bookings, tourism related to Fever games, and Clark's popularity. Some projections suggest Clark's presence could help the WNBA generate nearly $1 billion in revenue in 2025.
But here's the kicker, the funniest part of it all. The same people who call Caitlin Clark a media darling are the ones treating her like a piñata at every press conference. They smile while swinging the stick, then act shocked when she doesn't burst into rainbows and sound bites. She's expected to be grateful. Grateful for being picked apart daily. She's supposed to smile through the pressure, charm her critics, and stay cool under non-stop scrutiny. Be fiery on the court, but soft-spoken at the mic. Lead the league, but stay humble. Be passionate, but not too much. Speak up, but only on the right topics. They want the highlight reel, but not the human being. Which is ironic, because Caitlin is as real as it gets, emotional, intense, and unapologetically competitive. And yet, all the questions are about the incident, the look, the supposed tension. Forget growth. Forget adaptation. Forget her actual skills. Let's talk facial expressions and fantasy feuds. Honestly, if she sneezed, someone would probably Photoshop Marina Mabrey into the background and call it round 2. If Caitlin had the time, she could probably write the headline herself, player annoyed by repetitive questions, media responds with more repetitive questions, subheadline, no one is surprised. So the next time she sighs before answering, remember, it's not arrogance. It's not drama. It's not conspiracy fatigue. It's just the weight of being the most overanalyzed person in a league pretending it's just doing its job. And if you want to talk about what's really on fire, try her patience. And it's playing better defense than half the league right now.
Now, the guy brought up, she was poked in the eye, hit it in the face. But Monica absolutely ignores that, right? And has nothing negative to say about Marina Mabrey shoving Caitlin Clark over. Says it's a part of competition. What is competitive about that? What is competitive about somebody blindsiding somebody and shoving them? Now, mind you, she also didn't even acknowledge that Sheldon actually walked, after poking Caitlin in the eye, she walks up to her and like bumps her chest on Caitlin, which is why Caitlin shoved Sheldon off of her.
And just when you think the reporter might finally shift gears, maybe ask an actual basketball question, they circle right back to that so-called heated moment. No mention of defensive schemes. Nothing about player rotations. Not a single word about the clutch adjustments that sealed the win. Apparently, real basketball just isn't dramatic enough. What they're really after is tabloid-level drama, dressed up as post-game analysis. Not once did the word team even come up. No interest in strategy, no nod to playmaking, discipline, or resilience. Just another poke at the hornet's nest, all under the guise of journalism. Honestly, the whole thing felt less like a press conference and more like an open casting call for the Real Housewives of the WNBA. If he'd asked one more question about tension or tone, Caitlin might have turned to stone just to end the conversation, and that's the real issue. This isn't some isolated moment. It's the same tired routine, playing on a loop like a broken record. All narrated by someone who clearly hasn't dribbled a ball or watched film in their life, and when it comes to officiating, total silence. Missed calls, game-changing no-calls, crickets. When referees impact the outcome, there's no press conference. No grilling under bright lights. They just vanish, slip out unnoticed, and show up at the next game like nothing ever happened.
Jealousy is real. The jealousy is real. You know, this damn dump just can't get out of its own way. Yesterday should have been a celebration in the WNBA. Celebrate our missed layups. Even though the celebration was an illusion that masked the serious problem facing this league.
Blows, okay? It was a lot going on. The Indiana Fever was able to defeat them in that game, but Sophie Cunningham said that she has gone too far. This is not the first time that people have accused Sophie Cunningham of just, doing way too much, being too physical, almost being an aggressive bully in the WNBA. And people are now calling for Caitlin Clark, as well as Sophie Cunningham, as well as Marina Mabrey, and as well as JC Sheldon to get flagrant 1 fouls. Now, I'm going to tell you in this article what exactly the WNBA is going to do to all the ladies